Hello everyone, onlydraven here again, and thank you so much for tuning in this week. I appreciate everybody checking in and keeping up with my videos. This week we're going to do our regular weekly check-in, talk about how things went, kind of some things I've been dealing with food-wise, some new things I've been trying, and then we're going to talk a little bit about holidays. As it is approaching fall, we're slowly starting to move into a holiday season. And for someone trying to lose weight or someone who's had bariatric surgery, that can be a tough time of year. So we're going to touch on that a little bit. We'll get into more depth specifically on each individual holiday when we get closer, but just going to talk about them in general this week. Before we begin, I'd like to say thank you to everyone who's been going to my webpage. My website has had a lot of activity over the last week, and I definitely appreciate that. I actually posted my monthly progress photos up there. Me and all my disgusting shirtless glory. I try to post a set every month now, so if you'd like to keep up with those, again, you can go to my website, link here at the bottom, www.onlydraven.com. You can see kind of where I started at and where I've gone each month. I try to do it around the 26th each month. In the early parts, it was every couple of months, but I've been doing it every month for a while now. So I can definitely see a change. I can feel it. So hopefully you can see it on there as well. There's a page specifically for the profile pictures as well as all my other stuff. So not a whole lot new this week to talk about other than, like I said, how I'm doing and some different things of that nature, other than some more physical changes to go into. But we'll jump right into those in the weekly check-in. So let's go ahead and get started and get right into our video this week. Okay, so in this week's weekly check-in, we'll just kind of cover the basics. As usual, I had a good week. I actually had an exceptionally good week this week, better than I've had in a while. This week, I successfully lost 5 pounds. If you've been watching every week, I've been averaging 2 to 3 for the last few weeks, if not a month or so. So this was a really good week, 5 pounds down. That puts me down 165 total. My current weight is right now 266 pounds. So 66 pounds from kind of the goal weight there, which is again surprising considering it's been 8 months. This video is coming out just a day after my, 4 months? Let me see, April, May, June, July, August, 5 months post-op anniversary. Had my surgery March 29th. I lost 65 pounds before the surgery on the pre-op diet, and then everything else I've lost since then. Basically 100 pounds post-op at this point in 5 months. So that's pretty awesome. 66 pounds away from the goal is phenomenal. It's hard to think that I'm almost down 200 pounds, 35 pounds away from being down 200 pounds in less than a year. That's horrendous. I started at 431, so rounding it down to 430. Weighing 215, when I finally hit that point, I will have literally lost half of my weight. I will be half the man I used to be. I would play music, but it's copyrighted. But I'll be half the weight I was when I started this whole process, and I think there's a really good chance I'm going to hit that by the end of the year. I mean, we're just entering into September now, so I've got 4 full months to go, which is just slightly less than the amount of time I've had since the surgery already. I've not had any type of slowdown in my weight loss. As I mentioned, I've actually had a better week this week than I've had previously, which is awesome. It's really, really good, by all means. But being a realist, I actually have just in the back of my mind the slightest bit of concern. And I say it because I kind of thought my weight loss would actually slow down by this point. But it is not. It stayed steady or increased at times. I'm following the rules to the letter, getting within my goals, other than, so I struggle with still hitting my 175 grams of protein every week, but my fat goals, my carb goals, only 3 meals. I don't eat any snacks. I get in my liquids. I do everything that I'm supposed to. I've been slacking on going to the gym lately. I mean, I'll be straight up honest on that. I've had a lot going on, and I just have not had the time nor the motivation to get down there as much as I should. So definitely something I need to work on, getting back motivated to do that, because I not only don't want to lose weight, I'd like to shape up a little as well. So I need to kick my own ass into gear there, but I have been consistently losing weight even without that. The concern part comes into, I'm very quickly approaching my end goal weight. So what happens when you get there? You know, when you hit your end weight, you don't want to keep going. Eventually, I mean, some people I guess could, but eventually you have to stop losing weight. You've got to level off, you know. For health reasons, I don't want to spin around and go the opposite and be too skinny or unhealthy in that regard. So I know that there are steps it'll take when I get to my goal weight, such as increasing the amount of calories and fats and things that I'll eat, and the amount of food in general, maybe even eating more often. I've talked about that a little bit with my nutritionist, but the one issue that I worry with is occasionally, and they made this quite clear up front, sometimes people lose too much weight on the diet that I had, or on the surgery, which is the BPD-DS, one of the more invasive of all of them. So on that, sometimes there has to be a revision. As I've described in the past, not only did they permanently remove 2/3 to 3/4 of my stomach from my body, so my stomach is much smaller now, but they also re-ran my intestinal tract. So instead of the 25 or 30 feet that your food would normally run through the intestines to be digested, mine has been cut down to just 3 to 5 feet, the very last little bit. So food doesn't stay in me as long, it does not digest as long, which is why I have to take so many vitamins and nutrients and stuff to make sure I get in everything I need, since the small amount of food I get is not in me long enough to really pull everything you need out of there. So occasionally a revision has to be done. And again, it's based on the information I received early on, so it may not be completely up to date, completely accurate. It was a while ago. But a revision is where they basically go in and they redo part of the surgery, and instead of just using the last little bit of the intestines, they make it so you use a little bit more of it. So food's in there, it digests more. That would suck a lot. I mean, I don't want to have another surgery in this regard. I'm excited and happy with how well it's working. But at the same time, of course, number one goal of this is to be healthy. So if that's what it takes, that's what it takes. Cost, time off work, damn inconvenience to have to go through that all. But I mean, I'll do whatever the doctor says is going to be the best. I mean, he's got me this far, and I trust him completely. So if they say that's where I need to go, then that's what we'll do. But still a ways from getting to that. Still 66 pounds away from 200, and I could even go a little smaller than that if I needed to. I believe per my height, my goal ideal weight is like right at 178. I'm like 5'9", 5'8.5", something like that, with or without shoes. So I still have a ways to go there. And again, doing the other steps like increasing the food and the type of food I eat will very likely level me off. It does for most people, but for those of you who are considering having a weight loss surgery, revisions are something that need to be done sometimes. They have to go back in and kind of readjust what they did to either make you lose more weight or to slow down or stop the weight loss. So one surgery is not always the only surgery that you have when you have weight loss surgery. So that was something I kind of wanted to touch on today, because I don't think it's something I've really brought up in the past. I mean, I talk about how awesome everything and how great it is, but there are some downsides to it. And having to go in, have another surgery, which, you know, every surgery is risky, especially when they put you under. It's a major surgery at that point, as well as, you know, the time you're off of work, having to deal with it. Just the inconvenience and the pain, you know, the discomfort. Although, fortunately, I think going through it, if I had to, it would be much easier this time, being so much smaller than I was. If you go back to one of my earliest videos, you'll see me in the hospital where I had the surgery, and actually I filmed a bit from my the bed in my hospital room. I was quite a hungry hippo. I was a hefty guy back then, and getting in and out of the hospital bed was difficult. Moving in and out of the chair and just walking around, it was a lot harder than I think it would be if I had to go through it again, since I don't have so much weight on me to deal with. Now, another additional surgery that sometimes come along, this one's more elective, and that's for excess skin. Excess skin, when you lose a lot of weight, especially if you lose it quickly, your skin just doesn't elastic right back to where it was. And you can have excess saggy and loose skin. And early on, I didn't see a lot of that. I am seeing more of it now. I mean, I'm definitely experiencing some of it. One of the easiest places to notice is right underneath my arms. Like, if I flex my arm, you can see my arm shape. There's this little bit of a wing. I hope this isn't screen. A little bit of saggy skin down here, and it's on both arms. I'm seeing it on my inner thighs, stomach, areas like that. Again, knew that going in, but some folks do elect to have surgery to remove excess skin. From everything that I've heard from everyone who's had it, it's incredibly painful and uncomfortable. Way worse than any of the weight loss surgeries themselves is that. I do not plan on having that surgery. I know exercising, there's things you can do to help with that. Nothing's a cure-all. I mean, nothing's going to get rid of all of it. I'm going to come in here looking like Brad Pitt tomorrow or nothing. But I'm going to do everything I can naturally in that regard. I definitely don't want to do that surgery. Scarring. I don't want all the scarring from that. I don't want to deal with the discomfort and pain. I'm a wimp. Not a big fan of pain. Shocking, I know, but I do not like pain. So I'd rather avoid that. And again, I just don't want to have to do another surgical procedure for cost and it's the inconvenience that would be on my family. So I will find other natural ways to deal with that or just learn to live with it. But excess skin is something else that can definitely cause a second surgery, but that one, again, is a bit more elective. And a lot of times that's not covered by insurance. So in that regard, you may be paying a little bit more out of pocket for that one. Sometimes it is. It just depends on your insurance. So kind of want to talk about those things. But that's really it for the weekly check-in. Overall, feeling good. Shorts and pants are getting pretty loose at this point. It's fortunately the end of August, beginning of September. I'm already seeing the temperatures drop a bit. So by the end of September, I'll probably be back to pants again, which is good because I'm going to have to buy a new size of pants. I don't have any of the next size down. But we'll get to that bridge, I guess, when we cross that bridge, we get to it, I believe is the term. So, all right, with that, we're going to go ahead and end this section, and we're going to move into our next section, talking a little bit about holidays and how they affect weight loss and weight loss surgery. All right, so this week I kind of wanted to talk about holidays. Right now, it's the end of August, beginning of September, as the time of this video. And we're really entering into the hard-hitting section of the year when it comes to holidays. We've got Labor Day next week. We got Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's. So over the next 4 months, we really hit our big holidays that are especially holiday food-based. So it's a really rough time of the year for folks who are trying to diet, lose weight, or get healthy, and especially people who've experienced any type of weight loss or bariatric surgery. So I'm only going to touch on it lightly this week. I'm going to talk about the individual holidays as we kind of get to them, but just kind of talk about the overall thought process and some ideas of how to take care of that. So kind of what brought it into my mind is I was thinking about Halloween costumes. It's only 2 months till Halloween, and it dawned on me I might be able to dress up relatively cool this year. I say that, I mean, I could dress up any year. I dressed up last year, dress up a lot of the time. But it is very hard, I find personally, to find a cool fat character. Most costumes that are for bigger people, male or female, are more comedic in nature. Giant baby, fat this, big that, fat version of a pirate, fat version of a ninja. A fat ninja is just not impressive. Does not look like a ninja. You're not sneaking anywhere as a fat ninja. So I've always found it challenging to find a cool costume, and I like to be funny. I like to entertain people, try to be as funny as I can. I have pretty good success with it, but sometimes it's nice to kind of feel cool instead of feel funny, or feel sexy or feel attractive or feel of that nature. And when Halloween, a lot of folks get to do that. As a bigger person, not so much. There are just not a lot of fat characters, whether it be comic books, or movies, books. There's not a lot of big characters that are not supporting side characters or comedic in nature. There's not a lot of fat heroes out there. There's no fat superheroes, that I can think of. Somebody out there will contradict me, but there's not many that I can think of. There's big, but not really, overweight or fat. But with the amount of weight I've lost, I'm getting to a point where I feel I could dress up maybe as something kind of cool. I'm not going to be running around as a Spider-Man in any spandex. I wouldn't do that to people. Not at that point yet. But, my options have definitely increased. I looked at it like by next Halloween, especially if I, keep exercising, working out, and get a little muscle on me, I might be able to look pretty awesome. Maybe come up with a really cool character. Never a skinny character, but a, still kind of muscular or cool looking character. So putting some thoughts in, trying to figure out what I want to do for Halloween. Honestly, I've always wanted to get into cosplay. It's something I've always been interested in when I go to conventions, horror movie conventions, sci-fi conventions, fantasy, comic books. I mean, I do a lot of conventions. My wife and I like to travel to those. I would love to be able to cosplay or dress up as something cool there. And yeah, it just really hasn't been in the cards until this point. But to think that could possibly be happening really in the near future, it's pretty exciting. That got me thinking about holidays in general. And holidays are a lot of things for a lot of folks. The chance to see family again, reconnect with people, celebrate traditions, whether it be religious or from your country where you're from, things of that nature. But for a lot of people, food plays an important role of majority of those holidays. July 4th is all about cookouts. Halloween is all about the candy. I mean, Halloween is just straight up fat-ass holiday. Thanksgiving is just about eating everything, as much as you can. And then Christmas, same type of thing. Christmas goodies, Christmas treats, Christmas candies. New Year's all about the alcohol, and that brings a whole nother issue into play. But losing weight and still enjoying your holidays becomes challenging. Being a bariatric patient, this year will be probably the hardest one I've ever experienced. I mean, I'm not going to be able to eat Halloween candy. It's just not in the cards. Halloween candy is fattening, sugar-filled, calorie-filled, Not to mention full of stuff I really just can't eat in general anyways. Plus on top, I don't snack. I don't snack at all. It's just 3 straight meals. So no Halloween candy this year. No Reese pumpkins. That sucks. I love Reese pumpkins. Reese pumpkins, Reese trees, Reese eggs, regular Reese cups. If it's Reese's, I want it. Reese's Pieces. That's a whole bunch of other Reese's, but in pieces. I enjoy Reese's. Reese's peanut butter is my favorite. Probably my favorite candy just in general. I also enjoy black licorice. I know I'm in the minority there, but I love black licorice. But Reese's is the bomb. So not being able to do that, or Easter cream eggs, which they now have out for Halloween, it's challenging. Especially if you have a family who does not have the limitations that you do. If you have kids, I mean, your house is going to have candy in it, whether they're trick-or-treating or whether you're giving out to other kids or cousins, nephews, nieces, whatever, grandchildren, maybe. So Halloween's the next one coming up, So I have been personally doing what I can to try to find some bariatric-friendly holiday recipes. And, I like doing the cooking videos. Not a lot of people watch my cooking videos. I'm not sure that, they're really that successful, but I enjoy making them. But regardless, I am going to find some just overall Halloween recipes, or holiday recipes. I shouldn't say Halloween. I'm doing for Thanksgiving, Christmas, and stuff as well. And I'm going to start posting some of those on my website as well for people who are looking for recipes. So that way you don't have to watch a video. If you want to just go and see a recipe, I may have the recipe there. I may have a link to another site where I found some good recipes, because definitely if somebody else has gone through all the work to make the recipe, I definitely want to get them some attention for that as well. But I definitely like to have a central hub where you can find some bariatric recipes that hopefully will still help you at least somewhat enjoy the food side of your holiday. Now, food's not the only thing of a holiday. Halloween, dressing up. I enjoy to dress up. I love the decorations, love the theme. I like to give candy to other kids. My wife and I last year gave out candy. It's our first Halloween in our new house that we live in, this house. So we had more kids than we've ever had all the time we've been together. So it was great seeing the kids in their costumes. I always have a Halloween get-together. So I have a lot of friends come over. We dress up. We play games. It's a blast. So there's a lot of great things to look forward to in a holiday. It's just, again, remembering what you can have and what you can't have, and doing your best to stick to those. And nobody's perfect. People slip up. People will step outside the rules. I'm going to do my very best to avoid doing that. I've been able to do it on every other holiday we passed so far, which hasn't been many. But it's challenging, So I'm going to be looking for things to share with you so that you can hopefully have some tasty vittles. It's a southern term I've learned living here, that you can have during the holidays, and maybe give you some other crafts and other things that you can do to kind of perk up your holidays. So keep an eye out for that. I'm going to add that to my website. Again, right down here at the bottom, www.onlydraven.com. Probably have a page specifically on the website for that. And that page will be a limited page. Halloween will only be there until after Halloween. Then I'll put up one for Thanksgiving. Then I'll put up for Christmas and New Year's. And kind of have like a seasonal thing with different maybe foods and crafts and treats, things that you can use that are bariatric or weight loss friendly, but still put them towards, you know, your holiday. So something I'm going to work at. Also, my Halloween, whatever costume I come up with. If you got suggestions for a still rather chunky but not as fat as I was Halloween costume that isn't necessarily funny, I'm not against funny costumes. If there's a really good one out there, I'm all about it. But, you know, especially something that's kind of cool. If you have a character that you like or a theme or something like that you think would make a good costume, throw it my way. I'll take a look at it, see if I can afford it, if I can put it together. Definitely taking ideas for that. Or submit them on my website. Down at the bottom is a place you can submit suggestions or ask questions or give feedback. Feel free to throw them on there as well. I check that every day and I respond as quickly as I can. So looking forward to that. But other than that, not a lot else to talk about this week. Again, successful week. Lost some weight. Feeling pretty good. Food-wise, I'm still eating mostly the same stuff that I did before. I did post a new cooking video here recently. If you did not see it, it's Philly cheese stuffed bell peppers. I will put a link to that in the credits of this video. An actual link this time. I always say link. You can click on it. It'll take you to the video. It's also on my website under my bariatric recipes or bariatric cooking videos page. So feel free to jump on there and check that out as well. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Thank you to all my patrons. Everyone who's visited me on Patreon helps me contribute to put this together. I'm looking still at some Patreon goals. I'm looking at adding some type of merchandising where, like, if you offer a certain much, you get a t-shirt or a mug, something along those lines, something that has to do with my channel, but something that's a bit more, you know, I guess rewarding for being one of my patrons. So definitely keep an eye out for that, because here in the next week or two you should see some new rewards and perks going up on the page. You won't lose any of the ones you have. I'm just going to look to add some new stuff. So keep an eye out for that. Link to that is here on the bottom as well. And again, if you enjoyed my video, please remember to click like on the video and subscribe. I am bouncing between 99 and 100 subscribers. I hit 100, then back to 99, up to 199. I'm right at the cusp. So I'd love to hit 100 and stay there. So please subscribe to my channel if you enjoy the videos and you'd like to see some more. Other than that, thank you everyone for tuning in this week, and we'll see you next week. Have a good week.